The U.S. Supreme Court sets the stage for a final dramatic day of its session, which will take place tomorrow. Already today, the justices are handing down a key decision on reproductive care. They ruled that the Planned Parenthood organization cannot sue South Carolina over its decision to pull Medicaid funding because the group provides abortions. CNN's chief legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, joins us now. Walk us through this decision, Paula, and its possible far-reaching impact. One of the reasons this is such a significant case is because it threatens funding for Planned Parenthood, which is a leading provider of reproductive care in the U.S. This decision could provide a roadmap for other red states to target Planned Parenthood because this case deals with people who use Medicaid and their ability to select their doctor. In this case, Planned Parenthood sued the state of South Carolina after it pulled funding from Planned Parenthood because it provides abortions. Today, the Supreme Court said that Planned Parenthood cannot sue the state over this decision to pull Medicaid funding. The opinion, written by Justice Neil Gorsuch, fell along partisan lines. This is another loss for Planned Parenthood, just 3 years after the High Court overturned Roe v. Wade. All right, Paula, thank you very much. One follow-up question for you. This leaves key decisions to be announced tomorrow, which would be the court's final day of the current session. What are we anticipating? There may be a bit of procrastination on the part of the High Court here, as they have left 6 opinions for tomorrow. Among these are 3 major cases we are closely watching. The biggest involves President Trump's effort to limit birthright citizenship, the idea that if you are born in the U.S., you are a citizen, which has been recognized in this country for well over a century. They are trying to undo this through executive order. The justices are examining the power that a single judge anywhere in the country has to block a presidential policy for the entire nation. These nationwide injunctions have challenged every modern president, but because President Trump often uses executive action, he has faced the greatest number of these injunctions. This is a significant issue for him and his Republican allies in Congress. We are also watching 2 other cases. One involves the rights of parents to request religious exemptions from certain parts of school curriculum dealing with LGBTQ issues. The other case comes out of Texas and concerns the state's efforts to limit minors' access to pornography by requiring adults to provide identification to prove they are over 18. While both sides agree on the importance of keeping pornography away from minors, there are questions about whether requiring age verification violates the First Amendment. These are 3 of the 6 opinions we expect to be released tomorrow, making it a potentially blockbuster day from the Supreme Court. We will bring you all of that live when those opinions start rolling in at 10 a.m. Traditionally, the Supreme Court leaves the most important decisions of the session for the final day, so we will have extensive live coverage of these decisions here in the Situation Room, with Paula joining us as well. CNN's chief Supreme Court analyst, Joan Biskupik, is here to explain what this all means and to update us on the consequential cases still pending. Joan, it's great to see you. You are the perfect person to be here since you were in the court this morning listening to these developments. Let's first talk about the Planned Parenthood case, its significance, and what it means for Americans. This was a ruling controlled by the conservative majority, stating that Planned Parenthood and its patients do not have an individual right to sue South Carolina for cutting off Medicaid funding. South Carolina, which already bans abortion at about 6 weeks, did not want any of its Medicaid funding going to Planned Parenthood because it performs abortions. Individuals in Planned Parenthood argued they had a civil rights right to sue the state, but the Supreme Court said no, stating it is not explicitly written into law. This reverses previous lower court decisions, which had found that individuals had the right to sue under the provision that Medicaid funding should be available for any qualified provider. Planned Parenthood, as a qualified provider of physician services, was impacted by this decision. This major ruling will likely hurt women and others who use Planned Parenthood services in South Carolina and could prompt other states to withdraw funding. This all comes 3 years after the Supreme Court, with its conservative majority, rolled back Roe v. Wade and the constitutional right to abortion. Tomorrow is the day we are all waiting for, the last day of this term. The cases remaining include birthright citizenship, LGBTQ books and school curriculum, age verification for porn sites, and a significant voting rights case out of Louisiana. In that case, Louisiana was found to have violated the Voting Rights Act by diluting the power of black voters, requiring the state to draw a second black majority district. A group of white citizens argued that too much consideration of race was used in the redistricting process. Louisiana is defending its map, claiming it was also trying to protect incumbents while complying with the Voting Rights Act and the Constitution's equality guarantee. Another important case involves whether parents should be able to opt their elementary-aged children out of instructional programs that involve LGBTQ topics, raising questions about the tension between the First Amendment and religious rights. Tomorrow will be a blockbuster day, with these cases potentially having significant repercussions, including for the race to control the House in the next midterms. We will have live coverage as the rulings are handed down, so don't miss it.